Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. Thank you for tuning into the program today. I'm your host, Neal Howard. Our guest is Mr. Kouris Kalligas. He's a co-founder and CEO of two companies, both Therachat and Addapp Corporation. And he's here today to talk with us about smart journaling. Welcome to the program, Kouris.
Hi, nice of you to have me. Thanks so much.
Great. Give us a bit of background about yourself and tell us about Therachat and Addapp.
Sure. Therachat and Addapp are actually under the same legal entity, but we're branding them as different products. I wanted to say that first. In terms of myself, I originally come from Greece. I came to San Francisco 3 years ago to start the first product that we launched, which is Addapp. And since then, the past year, I've been focusing all my time on Therachat. I have a background in economics and also supply chain, but 3 years ago I made my move to start my own startup. And I can tell you a lot more about Therachat and smart journaling right now.
Yes, go. Please do.
So Therachat is a product for therapists, psychologists, and counselors and their clients. Therapists call them their clients. People call them also patients. So it's for people who going to therapy. So what we provide is a product for therapists to keep their clients engaged in between therapy sessions. If you go into therapy, either you have anxiety or depression, normally there's this 1 hour per week or 1 hour per 2 weeks, sometimes even per month. And then next week, a next hour comes and there is no context in between sessions. And we are actually solving that problem right now. We interviewed over 500 therapists in the US before we built the product. And we find out that was a big problem. And the way we're solving it is we provide clients, the patients or the therapist, on the mobile app, a very easy and friendly way to journal, to track their emotions, to reflect, and to reframe their thoughts. And we analyze those data and we provide insights and reports to the therapist, like an emotion tracking report, a journal report, where we also apply artificial intelligence techniques to give them more insights on what's happening in between sessions, because that's very, very important information, especially for those therapists who are actually practicing CBT, which means cognitive behavioral therapy. And also the therapists, as of the last 2 weeks, they can also assign homework activities, customized homework activities to their clients, where their clients can actually complete them on the mobile app. So that's what Therachat is.
Who is it that determines the best type of client or patient who can benefit from this type of app? Does it lend itself readily to all types of therapies as far as mental health is concerned?
That's a good question. So eventually who decides which patient gets that? That's always the therapist, of course. They know better their clients. They know who can benefit from a tool like ours. Especially we talk about mobile apps. Normally millennials, as we know, are very good at it. But if a therapist has clients or patients who are a bit more elder or they're not so much comfortable with the mobile app, it's not for them. In terms of which type of therapy is the best, we are focusing a lot right now on anxiety disorders. But that doesn't mean that our product cannot be used also for clients or patients who have depression or a depression disorder. But right now we're focusing on anxiety because the majority of the therapists that we interviewed and we built the product with were treating for anxiety, either this is social anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder. Because these are the clients, the patients who are more likely to use the product that we have. But eventually, the decision rests with the therapist. They invite their clients to use our product.
Is this a two-way street as far as this tracking and of emotions is concerned? Does the therapist, can they interact with the client, or is this something that is just stored until the next visit?
So that's also a good question. They can interact with their clients in between sessions. There is also a feature which we call direct messaging, which is secure and private. We are HIPAA compliant, of course, so they can interact with their client directly in between sessions. But this is optional. Some therapists like to do it, some therapists don't like to do it. It really depends on a case-by-case basis. So yes, this functionality exists, and the clients and their therapists can interact in between sessions. Normally, what we've seen from from therapists is, especially those that don't want to use that feature, the direct messaging, they like the fact that the clients can track their emotions and create self-awareness. It's very important in therapy to create that self-awareness, and they see the results and the insights and the reports we provide them before the next session. Either this is an hour before or a day before. It's really up to them. But there is this feature of interacting in between sessions for sure.
Obviously, the efficiency of your clients is elevated. Is there more time to actually deal with the client when they come in for their visit based on having this foreknowledge of what's going on with them?
Yes, that goes both ways. One of the things that therapists do, either they use our product or not, they're trying to assign homework to people who come into therapy. People go into therapy sometimes and they think they're going to be fixed, right? So they think that the therapist is a doctor and they're going to provide them a medicine or a patch and you know, they're going to be fine. But a lot of work that is happening in therapy has to come from the client. So there's a lot of homework activities. And that's because when you do a homework activity, either this is journaling or emotion tracking or thought reframing, you create some self-awareness, which helps a lot for you to deal and cope with your anxiety. So this is something that the clients that have been using it successfully have really benefited from. And on the other hand, for the therapist, they get a lot more information in a summarized format, so they don't have to spend a lot of time before a session to understand what is going on. Like, what are the emotions being tracked over time? What is the intensity of the emotions? Because this counts as well. And also, what have they been journaling in a summarized format? So both of them are, from what we see right now, are benefiting from that.
Is there a team of people assigned to all of these notes and things that are coming through, or does each therapist have his own assigned analyst to decipher some of this information before they get it?
Yeah, actually, right now we have automated the part of analysis. So one of the things that we are really good at is taking the information and the conversations and the emotions being tracked by the client and analyzing them with, of course, with engineering work that we do, but also with algorithms and provide them to the therapist. So there is no one analyst per client or per therapist. We're a team of 8. We're a small team. And we have one data scientist. So we're trying to automate a lot of these things in order to provide useful insights for the therapist.
Now, you say that both Therachat and Addapp are under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
How are they similar?
That's a good question. I started Addapp because I was fascinated with wearable devices and mobile apps. I track myself. I'm a quantified self geek, as I call myself. So I really love to do that. And that's how I started Addapp, trying to understand the data that I'm tracking. And Addapp is in, let's call it the wellness kind of sphere. And one of the things that while we were getting traction with Addapp, we said, okay, what other products can we actually build? And we looked into the mental health area where there is a lot of work to be done and there's not enough products, in my opinion, and there's so many people suffering. And we chose Therachat as a separate product. I guess the connection between Therachat and Addapp has to do with the tracking, for sure, because on Therachat we do have emotion tracking. On Addapp we're collecting data that you track with different devices and apps, and we have a ton of experience with that. So, and also trying to use technology to solve a problem. I think that's how, especially in healthcare, that's something that connects the both.
What type of initial training is necessary, or is this app extremely user-friendly on both the therapist end and the patient end?
Yeah, that's a great question. On the client side, on the patient side, especially those, and the majority of them do, so use a mobile app already. There's no training involved. The only thing they have to do is create an account with the email that the therapist invited them on, and they're matched with the therapist. It's in a chat user interface, so that's very friendly to what is trending nowadays in terms of what people use. And it's quite self-explanatory in terms of what you need to do. We've given a lot of importance to user experience as well. And we need to do even better. On the therapist side, there sometimes we see that the therapist needs a bit more training when it comes either this in the form of a demo or a phone call, where sometimes we tell them what are the functionalities and the features and try to put them in the best use. But many therapists already can actually find their way by themselves, and we try to to do that as well. So there is a certain level of education when it comes to some therapists, but it's not more than a demo that I'm doing myself or another colleague of mine.
And it's compatible with both Android and iPhone?
Correct. The therapist gets a website, a web app where they can work, and their clients get a mobile app, which is available on both platforms, as you said, on iOS and Android.
Give us a website where we can go and get more information about your company and the products.
Definitely. So you can go for Therachat to therachat.io. I will spell it. It's therachat.io. And if you want to check out also Addapp, you can go to addapp.io, addapp.io.
Well, I thank you so much for talking with us today, Mr. Kouris Kalligas, co-founder and CEO of both Therachat and Addapp Corporation. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you as well. Have a good day.
You too. You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. Our guest today has been Mr. Kouris Kalligas. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, listen in and download at SoundCloud. Listen to us on hpr.fm, and be sure to visit our affiliates page when you visit hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au.